取件。好，擺埋上去。好，唔該晒。唔該晒。
When it comes to keyboards, people usually consider the price and size only, but with enthusiasts, every bit of material on the keyboard will matter, affecting the sound, feel and overall design of the keyboard, and they will often go to the extremes to source a specific keycap, a switch or PCB or case in order to customize their board. Having binged videos on custom mechanical keyboards for the last week, I went ahead to order one on Taobao. Turns out they gave me the option of either building it for me and sending it to me, or just the raw parts, and I think you know which one I chose. As with most niche products, this package of parts wouldn't come with a manual or instructions on the assembly, and I had to resort to a list of spam from the vendor on Taobao as my guide.
So I've got the 6th piece here, 5th piece, 3rd piece, 2nd piece here. Now for these two, and then this. Okay, so it's in this order. Okay, do all the easy bits first. Okay, done! Oh my god! I have never ever dealt with a PCB before, and it looks gorgeous. Woo!
A PCB stands for a printed circuit board. Essentially, it is a piece of material that contains a bunch of electrical circuits attached to a chip so that the chip knows what to tell the computer to do whenever I press a key on the keyboard.
Okay, so I must be using the wrong word. Glue. Hey, time to go to Baidu Translate. Learning on the go. Paste. Jianghu. Oh, Jianghu, not Zhanghu. Got it. But anyway, let's have a listen to what these switches sound like, because there is a lot of different switches available that different keyboard enthusiasts prefer. This is how it sounds like. You can see Chewy over there. It's almost 3. I really just wasted my whole afternoon. So now it is advisable to put some lube on this, which is messy. Okay, let's look for an English video.
Put the other side on and you have a perfect...
Okay, I see what the problem is. Snap it in. Ooh, there we go! Now, hopefully, nothing should go wrong. Okay, what's supposed to happen? Am I supposed to be able to click it afterwards? Let me just check with her that this is installed properly. See if she's kind enough to keep helping me, although she has been quite nice already. So she told me to break these out. So first I have to snap them in half. This is not fun. Okay, let's keep one safe and out of the way first. Oh, she's losing patience. Whatever, just say something to set her up.
Before going through the tedious process of putting the board together, I needed to check that the PCB was working by hooking it up to the computer.
So now, when I touch the pins of this tweezer through the pins where these switches are meant to go through, this closes the circuit, which tells the computer that that switch or that key is being activated, and that's how I'm going to test on this website whether or not it can sense that I am activating said keys. What if something's wrong? Oh. How to check if you Mac. Something's wrong. Problem is that the computer is not detecting the presence of my keyboard. Okay, so it turns out that the USB cable that came with set is faulty. Luckily, I just happened to have bought a new cable literally last week, so I can actually test with my own cable, and now the computer is able to detect it. So far, so good. Yeah, so it is working. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm just going to go through and not look at the screen anymore. Tap all of these. There's a key here that is not being detected. I need to figure out which one that is. Okay, so it is working. Thank God, she is actually incredibly helpful. Okay, so this is done. Gently, I just don't have confidence. Give, terrifying. Can I just cut it? Let's try to do this surgically. Woo! Oh, finally. So now I have to find the respective layers from this box to put this thing in between before I start soldering. Okay, now I think I'm supposed to put on these switches.
After the key switches are put on, soldering them to the PCB in the next step will form a closed connection between the switch and the circuit on the PCB, so the key becomes functional.
So these are all meant to have a very straight pin so that it can actually be guided through these holes. But this one is the first one I've noticed that is slightly crooked, so I have to make sure I straighten it before I stick it in. So now I want to flip these over. Check why that is looking. Oh! Okay, that was stupid.
Then came the fun bit, soldering. This process involves using a soldering gun which gets really hot to melt some metal onto the joint formed between the PCB and the key switch.
Trying to touch the two things you're trying to eat. There you go. Alright.
Okay, finally the moment of truth. Fingers crossed nothing's wrong, and just go crazy with the keys. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ah, there we go. These 10 keys are working. Now I'm just gonna spam through these. Whoa! Why is everything on the right side not working? Oh no. Strange. Everything is working on this side. It's a shame.
We are worker duty.
有冇得踢兩個 pin 中間有冇啲 current or something like that?
Yeah, but you're still not going to be able to fix the problem. 叫咗買部隻俾你。
有好多想試下嘅，I don't know. Oh. Just try it. Okay, it worked.
點解咧？哦。
You can't go directly because I think it relies on this as the motherboard. Huh? You got more? I'm gonna solder. Okay, one last solder. Woo! Beep boop beep boop. It's the next day. Oh, thank God she's got an app that works for the Mac as well. Otherwise, I'd have to go through all the trouble of busting out my mum's Windows laptop. Now, I think, give me the app to download. What is this? You do not have the permission. Mac, do not have permission. Oh, there we go. Bingo, bingo. Says his name, oh, bingo. Whoa, this is complicated. Thank God we have an English menu. Menu to newers. Guess that's me. Insert keyboard to press PC. Press download. Downloading.
This stage was by far the worst one to go through, though I was told before buying the keyboard that the application used to configure the buttons on my keyboard would work on the Mac. That was never the case.
Somehow Bootmapper app from the Taobao vendor isn't working, so I've just found an online alternative for this client. There is nothing in this app. Okay, so this app is bugged. So the last piece of solder, which I forgot yesterday, was to solder on these LEDs for the caps lock, scroll lock, and the numpad. It is important to note that these light bulbs have a directionality because these are LED diodes. You have to put it in the right order, otherwise the current will not pass through. And the common notation is that the longer pin should always be the positive one. So first of all, get the solder hot enough. Get some solder at hand. And also remember to use flux. Flux is some substance that prevents this solder from oxidizing, because once this solder oxidizes, it conducts electricity very poorly. Put a dab on each side. Okay, that should be done. So now, with the completion of all the soldering, and whilst we can't set the keys up yet, next thing to do is to start putting all the keycaps together. I am enjoying this bit, finally. Some resemblance of a finished keyboard. Oh!
It wasn't a surprise at this point when I realized there was more work to be done, this time being some desoldering to undo a solder joint that I put in the night before.
With the desolder, I'm trying to do the opposite thing where I have this special gun, which is really just a suction apparatus. And once I've heated up the part that I want to desolder, the lead there will melt into a liquid form, and that's when I can just easily suck it out using this suction pen. First, load this up, melt the lead. Then once it's liquid enough, take my gun in and suck. And to confirm that I have sucked it properly, I can see by unloading it, there's this piece of solder that falls out, which is my initial piece of lead. I give up. I've lost
the whole afternoon trying to install this app on my Mac. I've tried looking up as many sources as I could, obscure Korean websites, and then leading me to download a bunch of stuff on my terminal, and it still doesn't work. On the other hand, the moment I drag the Windows version of the app into a Windows computer, the whole thing just works, which is such a shame because I've lost so much time trying to do this when I should have just tried going for Windows. Hopefully this is the last hiccup of this whole build, and once I've set all my settings, I can finally go for a proper test drive.